Today we're diving into a powerful verse from Isaiah 6:8, where the prophet Isaiah says, "Here am I, send me." This simple but bold statement speaks volumes about answering God's call, even when it feels overwhelming. We're going to explore what it means to step out in faith and to trust God with whatever He asks us. But before we jump into today's message, if you're new here, I'd love for you to join our growing community. Subscribe, like, and even leave a comment below. And it's free to subscribe, and you'll get all the latest videos that are meant to encourage and inspire your faith journey. My first point today, embracing God's call means saying yes when it's scary. Isaiah's response, "Here am I, send me," wasn't made from a place of certainty. In fact, he had just seen a vision of God's glory, an overwhelming and humbling sight. He was surrounded by heavenly beings declaring God's holiness, and yet, despite the fear and the awe he felt, he stepped forward. He didn't wait for the perfect moment or for all his doubts to vanish. He trusted that God would equip him for whatever he asked. Now let's be real. We've all had moments when God called us to step out in faith and to do something we don't really feel ready for. Maybe it's starting a new ministry, speaking in front of others, or even sharing our faith with a friend. The fear is real, but remember this: God isn't looking for perfection. He's looking for willingness. Think about Moses in Exodus 4. When God called him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, Moses hesitated. He didn't feel qualified. He said, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" That's Exodus 3:11. But God didn't leave him alone. He promised, "I will be with you," and that was in Exodus 3:12. The fear that comes with stepping into God's call, that's normal. But He's not calling us to go alone. Just like He was with Moses, He will be with you. And when you feel that tug in your heart, remember that your yes to God, even in the face of fear, is what opens the door for Him to work through you. My second point, trusting God's strength, not your own. When you're faced with something that seems bigger than you, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and underqualified. But the truth is, you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to feel like you're ready. The key is trusting God's strength, not your own strength. In Philippians 4:13, Paul reminds us, "I can do all things through Him who gives me strength." And you see, Paul had been through it all. Shipwrecks, he'd been in prison, he had been beaten, and much more. But through it all, he knew that his ability to press on came from God. You see, stepping out in faith isn't about being fearless. It's about being faithful. God will provide you the strength you need when you step out in obedience. I remember a time when I first started this YouTube channel. The idea of speaking to a camera, sharing my thoughts with the world, terrified me. What if I messed up? What if the people didn't like what I had to say? But God gave me the courage to take that first step. And each time I've hit record, it's been a reminder that I don't do this in my own strength. I do it because He's called me to do it. So whatever it is you're facing today, whether it's a new project, a challenge in your relationships, or a calling to serve, know this: you don't have to have it all figured out. Trust that God will provide the strength you need when you need it. Step out in faith and He'll show up. My third point, God equips those He calls. Here's the amazing part. God doesn't just call us to do things He knows that we can handle. He calls us to do things that seem impossible on our own. And then He equips us for those tasks. In 1 Corinthians 1:27-29, Paul writes, "But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. He chose the lowly things of this world and the despised things and the things that are not, to nullify the things that are, so that no one may boast before Him." God doesn't choose the qualified, He qualifies the chosen. Let me illustrate this with a story. When David was chosen to fight Goliath, no one thought he was ready. He was just a young boy, a shepherd, a little bitty boy, but God had been preparing him through this time along with those sheep. David had fought off lions and bears, and those small little victories taught him to trust in God's power. When the giant came along, David didn't hesitate. He knew that God had equipped him for that fight. In the same way, God is preparing you. The challenges you faced, the small victories, the moments of growth, they're all part of His preparation. You may not see it now, but every step that you've taken is preparing you for what's next. Trust that He's equipping you for what He's called you to do. So friends, the next time you feel that nudge from God, remember what Isaiah's words were. Here am I, send me. Step out in faith, even when it's scary. Trust that God will provide the strength you need, and know that He has already equipped you for the task that is at hand. You may not feel ready, but with God's help, you can do all things. Before I close, I want to hear from you. Has God called you to do something that scared you at first? How did you step out in faith? Share your story in the comments below. I'm sure it'll encourage someone else, and I'd love to hear how God's been moving in your life. And don't forget, if this video encouraged you, please hit that subscribe button. Give me a like and share it with others who might need to hear this message. Let's keep spreading God's truth and walking by faith together. If you like this video, I really think that you would like this one right here. Until next time, remember this: God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the call. Step out in faith and watch Him work through you. I'll see you next Monday morning on Monday Mornings with Michael.